Chapter 22 Saying and Doing. This chapter is based on Matthew chapter 21, verses 23 to 32. A certain man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, "Son, go work today in my vineyard." He answered and said, "I will not." But afterward he repented and went. And he came to the second and said likewise. And he answered and said, "I go, sir," and went not. Whether of them twain did the will of his father? They say unto him, the first. In the Sermon on the Mount, Christ said, "Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven." Matthew chapter 7, verse 21. The test of sincerity is not in words, but in deeds. Christ does not say to any man, "What say ye more than others?" but "What do ye more than others?" Matthew chapter 5, verse 47. Full of meaning are his words. "If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them." John chapter 13, verse 17. Words are of no value unless they are accompanied with appropriate deeds. This is the lesson taught in the parable of the 2 sons. This parable was spoken at Christ's last visit to Jerusalem before his death. He had driven out the buyers and sellers from the temple. His voice had spoken to their hearts with the power of God. Amazed and terrified, they had obeyed his command without excuse or resistance. When their terror was abated, the priests and elders returning to the temple had found Christ healing the sick and the dying. They had heard the voice of rejoicing and the song of praise. In the temple itself, the children who had been restored to health were waving palm branches and singing hosannas to the Son of David. Baby voices were lisping the praises of the mighty healer. Yet, with the priests and elders, all this did not suffice to overcome their prejudice and jealousy. The next day, as Christ was teaching in the temple, the chief priests and elders of the people came to him and said, "By what authority doest thou these things, and who gave thee this authority?" The priests and elders had unmistakable evidence of Christ's power. In his cleansing of the temple, they had seen heaven's authority flashing from his face. They could not resist the power by which he spoke. Again, in his wonderful deeds of healing, he had answered their question. He had given evidence of his authority, which could not be controverted. But it was not evidence that was wanted. The priests and elders were anxious for Jesus to proclaim himself the Messiah, that they might misapply his words and stir up the people against him. They wished to destroy his influence and to put him to death. Jesus knew that if they could not recognize God in him or see in his works the evidence of his divine character, they would not believe his own testimony that he was the Christ. In his answer, he evades the issue they hope to bring about and turns the condemnation upon themselves. "I also will ask you one thing," he said, "which if ye tell me, I in likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, whence was it? From heaven or of men?" The priests and rulers were perplexed. They reasoned with themselves, saying, "If we shall say from heaven, he will say unto us, Why did ye not then believe him? But if we shall say of men, we fear the people, for all hold John as a prophet." And they answered Jesus and said, "We cannot tell." And he said unto them, "Neither tell I you by what authority I do these things." "We cannot tell." This answer was a falsehood, but the priests saw the position they were in and falsified in order to screen themselves. John the Baptist had come bearing witness of one whose authority they were now questioning. He had pointed him out, saying, "Behold, the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sin of the world." John chapter 1, verse 29. He had baptized him, and after the baptism, as Christ was praying, the heavens were opened, and the Spirit of God, like a dove, rested upon him, while a voice from heaven was heard saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Matthew chapter 3, verse 17.